Disney live action remake, which hit Disney Plus exclusively on Disney Plus Day last Friday. The film stars Benjamin Evan Ainsworth as the voice of Pinocchio, as well as Tom Hanks, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Keegan-Michael Key, Luke Evans, and Cynthia Erivo. And this is the 80-year-old Disney live action remake, which is basically the same story as the original. A puppet is brought to life by a fairy who assigns him to lead a virtuous life in order to become a real boy. The film is an hour and 45 minutes and is PG. Welcome back to a brand new movie review here on Max Talks Movies. We're talking about Pinocchio. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, ring the bell. I do movie reviews, TV show reviews, movie rankings, and a box office breakdown show. So please subscribe, ring the bell if you're new to the channel. Also, please comment down below. First of all, how would you compare this film to the original film? If you've seen the new Pinocchio, do you like this more or less than the original? Do you like it a lot less than the original? Do you even just like the film? If you've not seen, tell me, are you going to check this out on Disney Plus, or do you just want to stick? You don't like the Disney live action remakes and just want to watch the original animated forms? And please like the video, guys. Thumbs up button. That's how you support this channel. So I had really no expectations for this film. Robert Zemeckis has been on a bit of a losing streak as of late, so I was hoping he would turn it around. And the fact they were releasing on Disney Plus Day for me at least showed some confidence in the movie. So let's get into my thoughts on this movie. I have very few positives to say, so let me just get those out of the way before we get into the overall, my negatives, which is my general thoughts on the movie. Tom Hanks is very solid in this movie. This is not a great Tom Hanks performance, but you can tell that he's clearly giving it his all, especially with the emotion of going after Pinocchio when he goes on his journey. I definitely respected Tom Hanks a lot in this movie. He gave it his all. I found Luke Evans to be a lot of fun in this movie as the coach. When he's not in it a lot, but when he's on screen, especially his musical scene, that's probably my favorite musical scene of the entire film. And that is kind of it for me. And I'm sorry to say that because I really did not like this movie. Let's just get right into my negatives. I just really did not like this movie from start to finish. The first 25, 30 minutes is pretty boring, where we're just kind of in Geppetto's office, and we're just kind of chilling. And there isn't just any, for a movie that's supposed to bringing a puppet to life, this movie is just very lifeless, boring, and just mid. He has very similar to his other two kind of CGI live action films with Polar Express and Welcome to Marwen. This movie has very creepy and off-putting CGI that takes you right out of the movie. Not just CGI, but there's also computer animation, there's CGI, there's visual effects that are just embarrassing in this movie. And I hate crapping on those type of people, but it really takes you out of the movie. Keegan-Michael Key voices Honest John, who is a fox who wants to recruit Pinocchio into doing a possible play. He's a fox, and it just doesn't really look very good and they're in the sun the whole time. There's a sequence that it's good underneath a whale, but when they come out of the whale, it just doesn't look very good. It just feels, and Tom Hanks is even his own cat in the movie is not a real cat. It just at times just feels like a mixture of a cartoon and a live action remake not done right. And Robert Zemeckis knows what it takes to balance those two things because he directed Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And that is one of the most, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which is one of the most important films blending CGI and live action characters. It really broke the ground for it. And since then, he's really struggled with that balance, including Witches, which is another misfire a couple of years ago. But really, the story, I'm not really as connected to the original film as I'm sure a lot of people are. It's not one of those Disney films I've seen a billion times or go back to watching. I've obviously seen it multiple times, but I grew up more really with Pixar and then bits and pieces of that Aladdin, Lion King era, more than I would say that far back in. The original movie came out in 1940. So now we're 82 years removed from the original film. And the film does go a lot with the original film, but its additions and its subtractions are not very good. Again, you don't just want to see a copy and paste remake like The Lion King was in 2019, but you want to see a movie that is necessary for making. And this movie has Disney forcing a live action remake all over this movie. It just doesn't feel necessary whatsoever. I don't know why anyone would want to watch this film over the original film. And it doesn't add anything new to go next to the original film. Obviously, when you're making these remakes, you're not trying to outdo the other film. You're trying to make a good movie that stands on its own, but also stands with the original film. And this film just feels absolutely unnecessary with really, really bad CGI. Some performances that are definitely a bit off. I could not even tell that Joseph Gordon-Levitt was voicing Jiminy Cricket the whole movie. I could not believe when I saw that in the credits that Joseph Gordon-Levitt was this person. And the movie just feels rushed. We literally, the beginning is kind of slow, but it's kind of boring in a slow way. And then once we kind of get into the action, we have some new characters that are in the film, not in the original, and they're just kind of plucked in. The fairy, who's one of the most important characters in the original film, played by one of the most talented people in the world, and Cynthia Erivo, has one scene in the whole movie. It's a huge waste of an amazing talent like her. And you go to Pleasure Island, and you go to Stromboli's train, and they're just rushed. I feel like they're just footnotes instead of actual big storylines, because once Pinocchio gets out of the house, the movie is just like a highlight reel in a rushed kind of way, and each sequence has its own unique problems. I really actually liked the new character. To go back to the positives, there's a new character, Sabina, I believe is her name, played by Jakia Taye, and then that was the name of the French woman, I guess, I think, who is the puppet. But I like that character, the person who works on Stromboli's train, helps Pinocchio out. She was a really cool character, but the movie completely forgets about her for a huge chunk of the movie until, oh, there's 5 minutes left. We need her to have a big scene with Pinocchio. It feels rushed. I feel like they added things that they forgot about later in the movie. There's deleted songs and added songs that don't add anything. This movie just does not feel like any part of a musical whatsoever. There's definitely songs, but because there just isn't enough songs in the movie, at times it feels like a random song number has to happen to make this a Pinocchio movie. So overall, I just really did not like this movie from start to finish. I think this is one of the worst Disney live action remakes that there have been. It's definitely another misfire for Robert Zemeckis, who, again, when you watch this movie, you can't believe this is the same director as the person who directed films such as Back to the Future, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Forrest Gump, Contact, Castaway. And I really like Polar Express. I know a lot of people don't. I really like Polar Express, but as of late, Pinocchio, The Witches, Welcome to Marwen, Allied, The Walk. I mean, not The Walk, really those last 3 films are just total misfires, and Robert Zemeckis needs a winner soon. And I'm going to give this film a 1 out of 5 stars. Sadly, that's all I can go. I'm going to go 22. I'll go 23% for Pinocchio. I think this is definitely one of the worst films I've seen all year. One of the worst Disney live action remakes I've seen all year. I mean, one of the worst Disney live action remakes of all time. Just a disappointing experience, as you have so much great on-screen and off-screen talent that you just want to see this movie succeed, but it has no heart to it, and it's lifeless for a movie that's bringing a puppet to life. That's my thoughts on Pinocchio. Please like the video, subscribe, ring the bell. More videos coming soon, including tomorrow, a spoiler review of episode 5, I believe now, of She-Hulk. That video will be coming out tomorrow. A review of a new Netflix movie will be out either Friday or Saturday, and then back on Monday, a new box office breakdown show. So please subscribe, ring the bell. More videos to come.